So let's go ahead and compare the newer budget iPhone 16e with Samsung's own budget S24 FE. So price-wise, the iPhone 16e is $600. Samsung's Galaxy S24 FE, you can find it for $500 on Amazon, fully unlocked. So lower price unlocked is the Samsung, except that you could find the iPhone 16e for $300 on prepaid, brand new. So depending where you find these devices, they're both pretty cheaper than their flagship, the iPhone 16 and the S24, S25 variants. Overall, for the size, the Samsung S24 FE is overall bigger device and heavier device than the 16e. If we're just going to talk about the outside of the device real quick, I gotta say that the display on the front of the S24 FE is just so much better than the iPhone 16e. It has the notch in the front. You flip around the device to the back. You have one camera on the 16e, you got three cameras on the Samsung. And on the side of the devices, the 16e does have an action button. That's for shortcuts. And you got a similar thing going on with the Samsung with the power button. So hardware wise, it looks like the Samsung is going to be overall just better. But let's go into more of the specs and I'll get back into the screen and the cameras. Build quality is going to be good on both of these. You got glass front, glass back, aluminum frame, so they feel real nice in the hand without a case. The 16e only it's eSIM only while in North America, while the Samsung has nano SIM and eSIM. For the displays, the Samsung really beats out the iPhone SE. For the technology, you have a 60 Hz refresh rate, an older, slower one on the 16e, while you have 120 Hz super fast refresh rate on the FE. And also, you get the pinhole camera, so you got just more screen on the S24 FE as opposed to the iPhone that has the notch at the top. And not to mention just the big, huge canvas of the 6.7-inch display on the Samsung versus the 6.1 on the iPhone 16e. So you get to see a lot more content on the Samsung. Both of these will get several years of updates, 6 to 7 years of updates, and the chipsets are pretty powerful for what you get. The 16e has the A18 processor, which is the same as the 16 and the 16 Pro, so it's very powerful, be good for years to come. And the Samsung, it has the Exynos chip, and it's not the super fastest, but it's close to it. But for everyday apps and everyday usage, it's going to be fine. Internal storage is the same on both of these devices, 128 gigs, which is more than enough for most people. Both are rocking 8 gigs of RAM, which is more than enough for everybody for moderate usage. The 16e, that's the most of any iPhone. It's tied with the 16 and the 16 Pro, so very powerful now, and it'll be powerful for years to come. And any app will work on it perfectly fine, even editing and content creation. On the other hand, the Samsung, it does have 8 gigs of RAM as well, but 12 gigs is the standard now if you want pro level performance. But 8 gigs, it'll be good for most tasks. Now moving on to the cameras on the back of the device, you got a single camera on the iPhone, while the Samsung, it has 3 cameras on the back: main camera, telephoto, and ultra wide. So you have a nice full array of options camera-wise, more capabilities, more cameras on the Samsung. Quality on both of these devices are good, except you just got more options and flexibility with the extra cameras on the Samsung. And also, just by looking at the back of the device, the 16e feels outdated, while the Samsung looks more modern with all the extra cameras. You can shoot 4K on the 16e, but you can shoot 8K on the Samsung. Selfies, 4K on both of the devices. Now for charging, you flip the devices to the bottom, and both of them have USB Type-C for charging. You got different ways of unlocking the devices. You got Face ID on the iPhone 16, it's up in the notch area, and on the Samsung, you have an in-screen fingerprint reader. And for battery life, both of these are very good with battery. They have both of them have all-day battery life, and you shouldn't have any issues using this phone all day. You're gonna have no problems with battery life. Both of these charge 50% in 30 minutes, but you have more charging options on the Samsung. You have wireless charging and reverse wireless charging as well. So in general, the Galaxy S24 FE is spec-wise much better for the hardware itself. It has more cameras, the display is faster, more smoother. It has a bigger canvas. It has just a small little pinhole for the camera, as opposed to the 16E, which has a notch at the top. It's a smaller device, smaller screen, has a little bit thicker bezels. You flip the phone around to the back. The 16E has one camera, old school look, versus the more modern, more capable 3-camera system on the Samsung. The Samsung does have nano SIM and eSIM. That's an advantage for a lot of people if you travel versus the iPhone 16E. The one thing that the iPhone does very, very well compared to the Samsung is that its internals with the RAM, the way Apple uses RAM, and the nice fast processor that it has, that performance will not be an issue. It is going to be more capable on the iPhone than it is on the Samsung. It'll give you so many years of updates. It's just as powerful as a $1,000 device, but you're getting it for cheaper. And you're just going to get the ecosystem in general. iMessage, FaceTime, AirDrop, all that stuff is going to be built into the iPhone. So I think both of these measure up very well with each other. Given the price points, you can get the Samsung at a cheaper price unlocked than the iPhone 16E. But if you don't care about the camera and you don't care really about the refresh rate on the screen, then the iPhone might be better off for you. Better bang for your buck might be the Samsung though. And that's been my comparison of the 16E versus the S24 FE from Samsung.